sexy back. We're bringing sexy back.
Let's get it started. Harder, won't you give it up? What you want, body? We're gonna start it at square one. Pause the music up while you get up out of your seat.
What's up, YouTube fam? It is Thursday, and you know what goes down here on YouTube. Wife Life with Gail goes down here on YouTube. And I am so excited that it is Thursday and I get the opportunity to come hang out with you. So do me a favor, if you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the button below, subscribe, and tell all my one sexy wives that Wife Life with Gail goes down here on Thursday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And guess what? Tonight's topic is one of the hottest topics, and it's one that most people don't talk about. It's really how to deal with financial infidelity. And you're like, what? Financial infidelity goes on in marriages all the time. I was one person that committed financial infidelity, and Gil has too. Let me just be open and honest with you. And what is financial infidelity? Financial infidelity is when you have secret bank accounts, secret savings accounts, secret bonds, secret insurances, just secrets that you have not shared with your spouse. Because, you know, a lot of women, like myself, was taught by other powerful women that you need to save for a rainy day. You shouldn't have all your eggs in one basket because that basket could break. You don't know what he's doing behind your back, so you need to have your own stash. I know I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to you and some of your good girlfriends. And so today I really want to talk about financial infidelities and the bad sides of financial infidelity. And just to let you know, I know that it just does not go on with women. Men have done financial infidelity as well, right? But the infidelity that we most talk about is infidelity when it comes to a breach of the marriage, i.e. having an extramarital affair. But let me just tell you that 40 to 50% of U.S. marriages break up because of financial infidelity, right? 40 to 50. The number one, of course, is infidelity and lack of trust. The second thing is financial, right? And that's a huge, huge number that we really need to address. And so tonight I really want to talk to you about financial infidelity. And again, I'm not coming to you because I'm accusing you. It's because I was that chick. I was raised by some amazing women that told me, Gail, you need to always make sure that you have an exit plan. You need to always make sure that you have your own. You need to make sure that you have your money just in case he cleans you out. You have an alternative, right? And again, financial infidelity can come in so many forms. Like I said, it could come with secret checking accounts, secret savings account, secret credit cards, secret, bonds and stocks, secret, insurance policies. I mean, all of these things really are secrets. And I believe that when you should have got married to your best friend and someone that you trust with your whole heart. Now, people are human. Breaches happen in relationships every single day, right? You know, we lie, we withhold information, we do all of those things. But when it comes to your financial, you need to start looking in the long term. You need to start looking, if I have all of these secret things that my spouse does not know about, if something was to happen to me, especially if you have a will in place, if something was to happen to me and they don't know about these entities, other resources, other monies, other insurances, credit cards, all of these things, it can impact not just your spouse, but your children. If you have, children that these assets could really go to, right? And I just know with dealing with my mom when she passed away, it was unfortunately, but it was fortunate that, when before she passed away, I was so adamant about adding me to her checking account, right? And she's like, why is it such a press on you to be on my checking account? I was like, Mom, I don't know. But I'm so glad that she made the decision. I didn't have a debit card. I didn't have anything, but I was just able to go in there and handle her stuff financially because I was on the account and not had to wait for the court to kick in and all of these different things. And what I also didn't know is that she had two other checking accounts, right? And then when I had so-called stopped all her money to going into the only account that I knew, is that, when I reported that she had passed away, then these other banks had started contacting me, and I had to go, take my letter and say I'm, was over her estate and all of those different kind of things. And she had a couple of, thousands of dollars sitting in other bank accounts. But let me just tell you that was something that was very traumatic for me, because again, if she would have just been open and honest about all the accounts in the first place, I wouldn't have had to jump through hoops and fax this and email this and get on the phone with this and get on a plane back and forth to Texas to handle her business. And that's just something small, just using my mom, who was a single parent. But when you have accrued, children and all of these different assets, and you're hiding them from your spouse, right? Without at least allowing them to know that they exist, that could cause a huge, huge problem if something was to happen to you, and also vice versa. Not only are you going to be dealing with the trauma of losing that person, and it could be your spouse, you're going to be dealing with the embarrassment of saying, I laid down in the bed with this person for I don't know how many years, and I had no idea that they was living a separate financial life from us, right? And so I just want to get that in your thought process as I go through how you can get back and stop committing financial infidelity. Number one, you really need to talk with your spouse about your financial secrets, your credit cards, any loans that you have, bank accounts that they don't know exist. Not saying that you have to go right away and put them on the accounts and give them an additional credit card or anything like that, but they at least need to have a knowledge that these things exist, right? You need to have that conversation. That's the first thing. Talk with your spouse about your financial infidelity. Because again, we don't know if tomorrow is promised to us or not. I'm sorry. And especially with COVID-19 going on and all of these different things, we need to be open and honest. Because again, if you're having problems with your spouse outside of what I'm talking about today, if there's been mistrust and mishandling of money and all of those different kind of things, you need to fix those things. Because again, you guys are combined. Even if you're living in separate houses, if they're still legally your spouse, the court is going to appoint them as the person that's going to take care of your financial affairs, and vice versa. Number two, if you're in debt, you need to come up with a debt repayment plan together. Because a lot of us, like myself, I was in debt outside of my marriage. Gil had no idea that I was financially struggling, even though I was making well over $100,000 a year. He had no idea because I had accrued a bunch of credit cards and all of these different things outside of what he knew, right? Because again, I'm an independent woman. I can, pay my own bills and all of those things. But I had to realize that when I got really ill and I was not able to work, all of that financial hardship fell back on the marriage, and I had to come clean. And so I'm trying to really make sure that you guys don't end up in the same place that I ended up in, right? Because he had no idea that I was in this kind of financial crisis, because I was always able to juggle things and make sure that I kept my stuff separate. So if you have any debts, any loans, any credit cards that your spouse is unaware of, you need to come clean and come up with a way that you guys can manage them together. Even if he says, well, you know what, you created that, and you have, at least he's aware that you have this financial debt. Because again, if something was to happen to you and they have no idea and they're thinking that they have taken care of all of this stuff, and then all of a sudden that's dropped in their lap, they're not only grieving the loss, they're going to be grieving all of these other things that they was not aware of, right? And number 3, try not to make any big purchases without consulting your spouse. I understand you're grown. I understand that you're independent. I understand that you make enough money to buy whatever you want. But again, try not to do what you wouldn't want done to you, right? And again, I am guilty. I am talking from a space that I am guilty of. I went and bought a whole Cadillac car. Well, I'll give, even knowing that I was at the dealership. Granted, this was years ago, but he had no clue. And, buying a Cadillac is not a cheap purchase. It wasn't like it was a $200 thing, right? We're talking the thousands and thousands of dollars. And it was just downright disrespectful. And at the time, I didn't even look at it as being disrespectful. I looked at it like I needed a new car, I wanted a new car, and I went and bought myself a new car, right? Since I did that very first purchase without him, of course, I've gotten 2 other Cadillacs since then, but we consult one another. We talk about it. Right? Because again, I don't want him to go buy a whole car or, say I'm leaving tomorrow on a, $5,000, vacation, and I don't have a clue about it. It's all about communication and trust. And trust me, we've had a lot of different breaches in our marriage over the last 32 years. But it's all about just respecting, right? Number 4, consider combining all your finances into one pot if possible. Now, if you're good with money and your spouse is not good with money, I say keep your bank account separate, but all our bills are paid out of. So I'm very much aware of what's going on in there. If Gil, something was to happen to me, Gil can get, on my account. He's on my account, but he never goes into that account, and vice versa. His own personal thing, because Gil is much better with money than I am, right? So when I had to come clean about my debt and I had to come clean about all of my stuff, right? Then we decided that, okay, it's better for us to be able to operate separately, but have one central account where all our bills are paid out of, so we can know what's going on. I use my savings account, right, for my business and all of that kind of stuff. And then I have same account at the same bank that I use, and that's my 4th thing is create a me budget. That's where I go get my hair done, my nails done, my toes done, when I want to hang out with my girlfriend, when I want my new outfits, whatever. And I give myself an allowance every single month, as well as Gil does. So when all the Amazon packages are coming for Gail, I'm not saying where are you spending that money, why you spending, because I know each one of us have our me money. And it's important for you to have your me money while you're working through all of these different things, because it keeps you disciplined. It keeps you knowing that you both are on same even playing field. You'll both have your me money. And once that's gone, you don't have any more me money until the next month, right? And it has taught me discipline, because if I want to get my hair done, my nails done, my feet done, and I want to buy 15 dresses, I can't afford it. Instead of going into the financial pot, putting it on a credit card or whatever, once that pot of money is gone, it's gone until the next month. And with COVID-19, I've been able to actually save my me money because I haven't been going anywhere. I haven't been doing my nails, right? I've been doing them at home and doing my pedicures and stuff at home because I'm not going to walk around looking crazy. But again, what is it that you need to do in order for you to stop committing financial infidelity? Because I gave you the statistics. 40 to 50% of married couples are committing financial infidelity. And they end up in divorce because of it. I don't want you to become that statistic. I don't want you to have to go through what Gil and I went through to come out of $60,000 worth of unsecured credit card debt that I had created. And he had to find out later about. So my prayer is that these tips and these tools have really given you something to think about. Go before the Lord and ask him, how can you present this information to your spouse, and make sure that you're open and honest about where your heart was. I have this fear because of past infidelities, right? I have this fear that you're going to leave me. I have this fear that we're going to, you don't handle money well, so therefore I needed to do this. And come up with a game plan that works for both of you guys, because that's what's fair. That is what is fair, and that is what's right. Because again, you don't ever know what's going to happen in the future. And you just might have that conversation and find out that they was feeling the same exact way. They just didn't know how to present the information to you. So again, I love you guys to pieces. Thank you so much for joining me here on Wife Life. Make sure that you're hitting subscribe button. Make sure that you're telling all my One Sexy Wife friends that I meet with you guys every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I will see you next Thursday. Have an amazing night.
Let's get it started. Partner, won't you give it up? What you invited, we're going